So, Myit, I see a lot of similarities between your paper and T's paper, which I just read. Um, what you're doing a little bit better than she is you're developing your own sentences and ideas, and I'm glad. I feel like you're explaining more step by step in a more general way. What you're not doing is putting in enough good citations. I know you've found this material somewhere, but your way of citing is not very good. So I'll talk about that here in a minute. So I'm glad that you start out talking in a general way. Yes, cohabitation is becoming more popular, and maybe it's because of divorce, maybe not. Um, Men and women seem to be facing more problems, different problems, because of cohabitation, I think is what you're saying. I'm not sure where your thesis statement is here, but if this is the thesis statement, I separated this one. You didn't send me paragraphs, but I created little paragraphs here. If this is the thesis statement, what it needs is you need to be more specific about kinds of problems that you're going to describe here in the paper. I think it's better not to start out talking about the children, because a lot of cohabitating couples don't have children. They just decide to live together for a little while to kind of test out their relationship. And then maybe after a while they might eventually have children. But I would save that unless you found a really strong negative effect. Now, according to Fitzgibbons, take out that parentheses. According to Fitzgibbons, commas, kids are harmed when their parents cohabitate. And then we don't need the date, we only need the page number in brackets or parentheses. No dates in MLA, in in-text citations. So, can you explain this more now? What kind of harm? Is it some abuse? What exactly happens to the children? Maybe I did not create these paragraphs correctly. I just had to guess, because what you pasted into that box did not show any paragraphs. So I can't tell exactly where your topic sentences are, but I see that you're commenting on the quote. This quote shows that because of cohabitation, the children, we don't say get through, we would say experience many problems. Now, can you explain those, exactly what the problems are from the research? Here in this part, you seem to be coming up with some of your own ideas. Depressed, money problems. What exactly does the research say? That's what I want to know. And then negative effects for parenting. So the kind of parenting might be worse. Is that what the research says? You seem to be, these families have more criminal offenses than those raised with married parents. See, this one is harder because are the crimes really connected with cohabiting? I don't really think it'd be hard to prove that or show that, and I don't think an author might say that, but where is the link? Where is the connection between cohabiting and committing crimes? So this one, I'm sure there are parenting effects, but what do the authors actually say? You're trying to paraphrase here, but I don't know where you got this. Is it from your head, or was an author saying it? If an author was saying something like this, you need to put his last name in brackets here. Your the end of this section here sounds a little bit like the beginning of the paper, because you're coming back to divorce. And see, the strange thing is, technically, if they are not married, if they're cohabiting, then it's not really called a divorce when they separate. Of course, it has bad effects probably on the children when that happens, but it's not the same as, so cohabitating men and women cannot get a divorce because they never got married in the first place. So you need to use another word of separation, and I think the problem here is like maybe instability. The family is constantly changing. One person gets angry and he leaves, she leaves, and now the children are having a very changing, unstable family life, and most people would recognize that that is not good for the children. But you're not, I can't tell if you're really quoting a researcher at the end of this paper, or if you are, or these are your ideas. And then what kind of abuse? You said physical abuse. This sounds like you found it in the research, but you didn't put any citation to tell me where you got this. So that's really important in a paper like this. And then try to get into specific numbers and details to make it real convincing. So finally, at the end, you're going to just say there seem to be a lot of problems, and so couples need to be more careful if they are considering cohabitating. It might not be all terrible and evil, but it seems to be connected to or linked to other kinds of bad social, emotional, and physical problems. So that is the danger, the risk of cohabitating. And by what your paper does do kind of well, is try to look for a connection. What is the logical connection between between actual cohabiting and some bad effect, and why we can conclude that the bad effect really comes from cohabiting. It's not just that these were bad people who cohabited and they also do other bad things. That's the problem in this kind of research.